I am Coach Story. I coach the blue, red, and white teams, and our original recording from the 31st didn't save for whatever reason. So I'm just recreating a video. There's nobody else on here, but I will make sure that I answer the same questions that were asked to me last week on Wednesday. And on that note, Dennis shared in our meeting that if you guys need to get in touch with him, he is best reached via text, and you guys can reach out to him at any time during the season. If you guys need his contact information, please reach out to me. I can pass that along, or you guys can ask me any questions. I'm here for that. I will be going over my contact information at the end of this video, and I will include it in the email that will be sent correspondingly. I do want to share a little bit about me. I swam competitively from the time I was 6 through college. I love to swim. I continue to swim. Through my freshman year of college, I had to stop due to health reasons, but I love to swim, and I really do feel like the things that I learned in the water have definitely transpired into my life. And I really hope your swimmers eventually feel the same way. I coached while I was in high school, so I got the opportunity to coach through Wasatch. And now I'm back, and I'm so excited to be back. And I love to coach. It's so fulfilling. It's fulfilling to watch your kids learn and grow in and out of the water and become amazing little humans and amazing little swimmers. And I love it so much. So I'm excited to be back. I really hope that your kids feel like practice is a safe space where they can learn and grow and be pushed and become better swimmers, and also create friends. And that if they need anything, that they can come to me. And that's what I'm trying to cultivate. Let's see. I do have a few things I need you guys to do for me as parents. The first being is to remind your kids that practice is not social hour. I try to create a situation in which they can engage with their peers. I do want them to have friends on the swim team. I do think that creating friends is amazing and wonderful and super important. And swim is a great place to do that. So I'm trying to facilitate that by creating a time at the beginning of practice where we spend 5 to 10 minutes, we stretch. That is the time that I've been taking roll, and they all know that that is the time that they can chat and get their wiggles out. We as coaches will ask them, how was your day? What's your favorite color? Like, we just want to know them, and we want an opportunity where they can chat and they can get all of that out before we get in the water. There are going to be moments when they're in the water that it is appropriate to talk. For example, when they're waiting for everybody to finish, or when they are like, it's not their turn to go yet, but it's not appropriate to talk when a coach is talking and giving instructions. In fact, it's really frustrating as coaches when we have to say things 5 or 6 times, or individually go to your kid and say, keep your head out of the water. And we're doing everything we can to get all of their attention. And just sometimes we have a really hard time getting them to stop talking. And it's not always the same kids, and it's not always every practice. It just, I don't know, it just happens. But I think that if you guys could remind your kids that there is a time and place for them to chat with their friends, and when a coach is giving instructions and when they're there to be swimming, that is not the time. And that I want to spend less time giving instructions over and over and over again, and more time helping them with their technique, and more time swimming. And that's what we're here to do for. And I'm not here to babysit your kids. Your kids are here to swim, and I need them to pay attention when we're giving instructions. And it's also really unfair and frustrating to the kids who are listening and are ready for those instructions, and they don't need to hear them 6 times. And your kids also know that if they're not paying attention, that I might ask them to sit out for a minute, and that I might bug them, and that I might say, okay, like, then you need to move lanes. And they know those things. I am trying to create a situation where they can learn when it's appropriate to talk. And I, again, support that they are having discussions, and that they do have friends, but I just want them to learn when it's okay to do that. I'm really sorry. I'm going to have a companion for this. The next thing that I need is for you guys to remind your kids that they need to be at practice on time. I am noticing that a lot of our kids are swimming, like playing before they get in the water, before they come over to practice. And that becomes a problem when I have to babysit them and go get them. I don't believe that they're even supposed to be playing in the water before they get in for practice. That might be something Dennis could speak to more clearly. However, regardless, I will say, hey, it's time for blue team to start, or it's time for red team to start. And it's mostly those kids because they're in the play pool. But I am not going to go round them up and I need them to be there on time. So if you guys can just remind your kids that if they are going to swim before, that they need to come over to practice on time, then that would be fantastic. And that's all I will say on that. I do want to go over really quickly so how you can support your swimmer. Sometimes that looks like coming to practice and sometimes that doesn't. And I want you guys to find a balance between being supportive while and being like I don't want you guys to pressure your kids. And sometimes by showing up to practice and sitting too close to the deck or trying to coach them, it can actually be really, really stressful and create a lot of anxiety for your swimmers. And that's not what we're wanting. And I'm so sorry. I've tried to create this video like 5 times, and so we're just working with what we have. I want your kids to feel supported. And I do think that you guys know your kids the best. So to find a line where you're not being overbearing and you're not sitting next to them on the deck all the time and coaching while we're coaching, that's not productive to us as coaches, and it's really not productive to your kid. It becomes stressful and they actually end up feeling pressured and not supported. Supporting can look like showing up practice. If that's what works for you and your kid, awesome, fantastic. I love it. It definitely looks like you coming to swim meets. We are going to do 2 swim meets. We'll do one mid-season and at the end of the season. And if you guys can make sure that your kids can come to both of those, that would be fantastic. And if you guys can't show up, that's okay, but please make sure that your kids are there. I would love for all of the parents to be there to support their swimmers, but we are going to do one mid-season and at the end. I will try to get those dates to you guys as soon as possible. It may or may not land on when you guys have normal practice, so it may be out of your family's schedule. And for that reason, I'm going to try to get those dates to you, but I also ask that you guys make an effort to at least get your kids there if you guys can't also be there to support your kids. But the more swim meets we do, the more our kids are ready to compete and the more they're able to look at their skills and set new goals and push themselves. And I want them to check in mid-season and for you guys as parents to see what they've been working on and then get to review that again at the end of season and see, wow, look how far I came. Here's my goals for next season. And for you guys to get to see their progress. And my hope is that they will have a greater desire to set new goals, a greater desire to compete, and that you guys are getting to see your swimmers swim. All right, let's see. The most important part of our meeting is to go over gear. I'm going to include some links to Swim Outlet in the email. I was going to try to share my screen, but every time I tried, it took forever for it to load. So I'm just going to share the links. Swim Outlet, if you don't know what that is, it is like if Amazon was only for swim gear. That's pretty much what it is. And I think that they have the biggest variety and the best price points of anywhere I've ever looked for swim gear. And you can find basically anything you can think of swim related on Swim Outlet. So all of the links I'm going to include will be on that area, and I'm going to talk through how to find what you need to find. First and most importantly, goggles. Your kids cannot come to practice without goggles. We do not have goggles for them, and it is super, super impactful to their swimming. If they don't have goggles and they feel uncomfortable putting their face in the water, they can't see where they're going, their eyes hurt, there's so many issues with it. Please send your kids with goggles. They need to remember them every practice. I'm going to include a link to my favorite pair of goggles. I like these goggles. They're called the Speedo Vanquishers, and they have a junior size. I like them because they don't take a lot of pressure to suction to your face. So there's like way less worry about water getting in them. And I know that that's like, as a swimmer, it sucks so bad when your goggles fill up with water. And as a little kid swimmer, like I still to this day, when my goggles fill with water, it like takes me back to childhood and the anxiety that I had as a kid learning how to swim. With my goggles filling up with water and at swim meets and just like, it was the worst ever. So having a good pair of goggles is super, super important. These goggles come with a bunch of different nose pieces. And that's also really nice. So you can make them whatever is going to work best for you. Additionally, they have a spot where you can take out the straps, and lots of different goggles have a spot where you can take out the straps. At minimum, I would recommend getting goggles where you can take out the straps. The straps that usually come with goggles are like super annoying and they pull on your hair. They're really hard to adjust. When you need to tighten them, you have to tighten them at like 4 different spots. If you've tried to tighten your kids' goggles or loosen them, you know they're not easy. And us as like we spend so much time as coaches adjusting and helping your kids with your goggles, and they spend a lot less time swimming. So Go Goggles will also support that as well. And I ask that you guys try to get some that you guys can take the straps off, because I think that the bungee cords are so much better. So there's these bungee cords. I will include a link. And to tighten them, you just like loosen the bungee, like the little slider thing on it, or you just tighten it. And it's so easy. They are a little tricky to put on the first time if you haven't done it. But I'm happy to do it. Come to practice a few minutes early, bring them to me. I will put them on and we will get that situated. It makes such a big difference. And I really loved them. I loved that as I would get up to go off the block, I would tighten them and then like I could loosen them for practice. I love being able, I continue to love not having to worry about them and not having to worry about it being convenient to tighten them. So I would really recommend getting a bungee cord. And you can put them on most goggles as long as they have that thing where you can take goggles, the straps in and out. Some goggles, they're like almost adhered, the strap to the goggle, so it doesn't like work as well. But as long as you can take the straps off, I can probably get a bungee in there. The Vanquisher goggles that I was talking about earlier, they do come in mirrored. I wouldn't recommend getting them mirrored. I'm not going to include the mirrored link, but we're not swimming outside, so if they're mirrored, that's not going to be really supportive to them. I would get the clear ones. I was also going to say something else about them, but oh, I've always had the Vanquishers. I don't even know if I can think of a time that I didn't. And if I did, I didn't like them. I've always liked the Vanquishers, so I'm biased. But I want to just like iterate. They're like $20, but like they last a really long time. I had the same pair for at least my first 2 years of high school, and I was swimming club and high school all year round. Well, club all year round, and then I was swimming the high school season as well. Sometimes I was swimming like 4+ hours a day because I was also coaching and was in the water with them a lot. And I'm crazy, and I would swim on the weekends as much as possible. And at swim meets, like, and they lasted me 2 years before they broke. And then I got a new pair, and I still wear that pair. Like, they last a really long time. And on that note, I'm so hard on my gear. I need to be way easier, but like all of my athletic stuff, all growing up, I just like beat it up. I don't know why. Like I just am really hard on my stuff. So hopefully your kid isn't like that. But even if they are, these goggles last a really long time, and your kids are not swimming 4 hours a day. So I bet you that they will last much longer than 2 years. And even if they do, I think that the price is super reasonable for 2 years. Okay, goggles, swimsuits. I'm gonna go over this super briefly. The big billowy boxer shorts for guys, they are not functional for practice. To each their own. If that is what your kid is most comfortable in, great. I don't think that they are realistically the best thing for practice. They're for so many reasons. And for girls, like the swimsuits that are more for like more for fashion, they are not tight in the spots that make sense for practice, and they just aren't comfortable. And there's so many issues with both of those. And I feel like our swimmers spend a lot of time feeling uncomfortable in what they're swimming with, and they are more worried about their swimsuit falling off than swimming sometimes. So I would check in with your swimmer and see what's going on there, and reconsider if they don't have the kind of swimsuit that's like meant for practice. I would consider getting them one. I will include a link to that as well. On the Swim Outlet page, they do have some other kind of swimsuits. They have like more recreational, they have water polo, they have racing suits, but they have a section that's for training and competition. That is the section you want to go to. And they have a boys and girls section. Literally any swimsuit on that section is going to be fine. For the girls, there are some 2-piece and some 1-pieces. There's mostly 1-pieces. As long as it's a practice suit, it's going to function, and it's going to be way better than like something you could get from like Walmart. And then for the boys, they're mostly the jammer suits. There are some like, I think they're called briefs. They're more like Speedos. And again, if that's what your kid's comfortable in, great. But I think that most of the boys are going to be comfortable in jammers. They're just like, like they're kind of the way that I can explain them if you haven't ever seen them, they're more like compression shorts than anything. And but swimsuit style. So that is what I would get your boys. And I will again include links to both of those. I do want to mention that there's this thing called grab bags. And grab bag is basically like whatever swim outlet has left over that's like random sizes that they have left over of random swimsuits. They're no longer selling them on the main section because they only have like a size left and they get put in like a pile, for example. And so then when you order a grab bag, you're ordering the brand and then they pick from that brand out of those random swimsuits that they just have left. They pick your size that you say you need and they send that to you. So because it's just kind of whatever they have left over, it's way cheaper and it's kind of fun because you don't get to see what you're gonna get. You just get a random swimsuit. And I've never not liked the swimsuit that I've gotten. I can't think of a time that I didn't like the swimsuit that I got. And my mom always did that for me. She'd be like, I don't know what you're getting, but here you go. And it was kind of like fun to open it up and be like, what does my swimsuit look like? And again, they're going to be cheaper. So I wanted to just throw that out as an option. So that way, like you guys had some fiscally reasonable options. But I do think that there's some easily obtainable swimsuits on the main section as well. I think that's it. Caps. I do want to talk about caps. If you have a daughter or a son with long hair, I would highly, highly, highly recommend a cap. Water is super damaging to hair and it gets in your face. And trust me, when you're trying to breathe and your face is in your eye, your hair is in your eyes and your hair is in your face and over your mouth, it's not happening. And you're always moving your hair. And I'm sure as a parent, I don't know, but I'm sure that when your kid comes home and their hair looks like it's been through World War III and you're trying to brush it out every single night, I bet you that that's not very much fun. A cap would really, really, really help. It takes me less than 5 seconds to put a cap on somebody, and I can teach them how to do it for themselves. And I like, as a swimmer, like we just learned how to help each other do it. And so like we would just be like, hey, will you cap me? And my friend would cap me. So that's something they can like learn to do for each other as well. And they can bring it to practice. I will cap them, like I will teach them how to do it. And it takes less than 5 seconds and it makes such a big impact and their hair won't be in their face. So I would highly, highly recommend it. And at minimum, it like reduces the damage that chlorine will do on their hair. Even if they don't have long hair and you want your boys wearing caps, great. I will help them put them on and I will teach them how to help each other. Sounds awesome. So I just wanted to throw that out there. All right. I think that's kind of it. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. I want to say we've gone over everything. The last thing is contact info. I have created a group me for every single team. So Monday, Wednesdays, I've created a team for blue and red, and same thing for Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I've created a white team. I am going to try this group me. I did this for multiple reasons. You guys can, of course, text me on my phone number or call me. I'm okay with that. If you call me, may or may not answer. It depends on what I've got going on. I'm better at texting. And depends on what time it is. But for group me, I just wanted to create a way that was maybe more easy for you guys to contact me, or rather, if you guys have a question that you think other parents might have, you can chat it to the whole team, and that all of the parents in that same team are going to see the question. And if you're a parent and you happen to know the answer and you get to it before I do, great. And I bet you that if you have the question, another parent's going to have the question. So I wanted to create a space where you guys could help each other figure out the answers to things and also feel like you guys could ask questions, and that I just want there to be really easy communication. Another reason is if I need to remind you guys about a swim meet, you guys might check your group me, or your group me might come through your phone like a text where an email might not. And you might see your group me and might forget to check your email, or for example, for whatever reason, something goes on with the pool and we need to cancel practice, or I need to remind you is changed with practice. I'm going to send a group me. Of course, we'll still send the emails, but I'm just hoping that a group me will be an additional reminder, or it might just be easier for you guys than checking your email. Not that you don't need to check your email, but like, I just want there to be easy communication. So this is my attempt at that. And hopefully it goes well. So I would invite you guys to join those group meetings. I already sent an email out to each team with the group me links. So go and find that, or let me know if you guys didn't get it and I will definitely send it to you. Yep, that's my attempt at communication. My phone number is 385-207-3680. Feel free to call or text me. Again, if you call and it's his bedtime, it's after practice, I may or may not answer, but I will be much better at texting. And I will include my phone number in the email as well. So you guys can contact me via phone or group me. I would prefer to keep things all in group me if that's what works for you guys, but let's just see how it goes this season. And we'll go from there. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm really sorry that the Zoom didn't record, but hopefully this was sufficient. I did have a few questions about swim meets last time. And it was more around if like your kids want to compete in an additional swim meet that's not an inter squad swim meet, if that's okay. There are a few swim meets every season that like don't require times to swim in, that are open, and that your kids could compete in if that's something you guys would like, especially white, because once they get to the black team, they're going to be competing more often. However, given that like the club team season, so USA swim season, which is kind of not the same season as what we're in right now, they are coming to an end. Their state is really soon, so there's not a lot of swim meets left before the season, and then they're going to be moving into their summer season. So just some things are shifting. So there's not a lot of opportunities at the moment, but if that's something you're really interested in, I would love my swimmers to have more opportunities to swim. This mostly goes for the white team, but if you guys want to get in touch with me regarding that, please feel free. And yeah, I want to say I covered anything, but if I missed anything, please let me know. I think we're good. Thank you guys so much. I'm so excited to coach this season, and yeah, bye.